Okay, like a typical Monday, just kind of recapping a few things after digesting the film. We obviously, finishing the game we did, well fought. I thought it after the game and then watching the tape. Great college football game, atmosphere, both teams making plays, responding. Obviously came down to the wire. I feel like it could be a growth game for us to be able to finish the game we did against a quality opponent. I mean, that quarterback was playing at a really high level. Having to respond in the second overtime, the way all of that. So we're trying to grow off of, being able to finish that way, because a lot of these games are going to come down to the wire like that, and we got to gain some confidence and continue to move forward from the game. Offensively, felt a lot to like with Aiden in regards to his effort, quarterback play, decision making. Even some of the small stuff that you don't totally see during the game of check the ball down, protections. Wasn't clean a couple of times and got us out of that. It was pretty good. I thought multiple receivers making some plays there. We got to get better. 2-minute at the end of the game, got an opportunity ball to 42, 2 timeouts. I think there's close to 50 seconds left. We go backwards there. We got to tighten up some of our hands in the run game, holding calls, red zone backed us up a couple of times, short yardage, getting stopped. So there's plenty to improve on. Defensively, again, I give that Boston College, Coach O'Brien, the quarterback, I mean, they make it hard. Schematically, felt like after the game, we needed to be able to make the quarterback more uncomfortable. He did a great job getting the ball out pretty quickly. There wasn't a lot of times he's just sitting there patting the ball. This thing is coming out pretty quick, but we still want to get around him more, play some tighter coverage. A couple of times just kind of got without playing within the system. In the secondary, some of the zone drops, over-dropping, our eyes in the wrong spot a couple of times. We got to tackle in space better defensively. Having said that, I thought the adjustments halftime, they've given up 21, came in to give up 6 points in the second half of that offense is pretty good, and we're not all about bend but don't break, but make them earn it. And in the second half, bowed up that well. Definitely want to play better, though, in overtime defensively to get stops. Punt, Eckley. Protection's solid, snaps, Jack again, but the coverage of those, I mean, is pretty good. Martin's kicks, we didn't feel awesome about our field goal protection. I'm not going to say this publicly after one game, and so going into week 2, we wanted to tighten up the protection on that, and it was better because they brought it a couple of times, but Martin's kicks were obviously huge, and then Alante Brown on the return game. We're blocking the thing. We can block it a little bit better on kickoff return, but he's breaking tackles. I mean, they changed the game. 2 big old returns, especially the second one getting on their side. We turned that into scores. Turn that around, though. Punt return, we got to get better. Penalties, we turned the thing over at the beginning. Got to be better there. Starts with the coaches, communication. We got 12 guys on the field for a snap on punt return. So like I said, a lot to like, finishing the game. I do feel it was a growth game for us, but there is a ton we got to grow from in the game after that. I do, again, watch the TV copy quickly. I mean, the atmosphere, that crowd, it was awesome. National television, the place was packed, student section, energy. So appreciate our crowd again, helping with the home field advantage. Moving forward here, Youngstown State, looking forward to an opportunity back. Play at home, got respect for that program. I mean, I know Coach D was there. This place knows how to win at a high level, winning national championships and things like that. I think they got a good quarterback that can create some problems for you. Running it, throwing it, getting the ball in space, when he's got it, when he doesn't. Formationally, after a couple of weeks, these guys are moving the ball, so they challenge you that way. And so we know we're going to look forward to improving our own game this week through practice, and excited to play at Spartan Stadium again on Saturday.
Jonathan, I'm wondering about, you had a bunch of guys that were banged up during the game, and I think Lafayella also left. I don't know if he came back, but Lafayella.
Yeah.
Wondering about the health factor, but also in a game like this, how do you kind of navigate and manage maybe some of those bumps and bruises against a lower division opponent? Do you try and maybe keep guys on a pitch count, or how do you approach that?
Yeah, we're approaching it. I mean, we're trying to get guys healthy. I mean, it's week 3. You're not going to feel perfect. You're going to have some bumps and bruises. Not quite mid-season, but mid-season healthy. Coming out of the game, not an injury or two that's long-term, nothing like that. We definitely got some bumps and bruises in that one. But no, we're going to approach it. The guys' availability through the week will turn into how many reps they're going to get on Saturday, just like we approach each week.
You already shared great respect for the program, but just from a definition standpoint, huge emotional win. The following week after next week, you go on the road to open up Big Ten. Does this have the elements of what could be a trap game, and how do you educate your locker room not to fall into that and respond accordingly?
Never been a believer in this idea of trap game. If you get into this trap game, well, your focus is in the wrong spot, whether it's in the past or in the future. Our approach this week, we got to get better starting tomorrow and Tuesday's practice. We respect every time we get to line up against somebody, we respect them all who we're playing. And so we know we're going to have to play well to go earn a win. And we'd want to be in this constant state of improvement. We're playing our best football at the end of the year. We got to improve this week 2 to week 3. Want to make a nice jump.
With the coverage side of things, there were obvious miscues in the last game, but I'm curious where you identify the issue there. Is it the linebackers? Is it inheriting coverage? Is it the safety stepping up into the play? Like, where are the issues arising in coverage?
Yeah, a few things. One, communication. A couple of them happened in our end zone close to our band. It's loud. We've got to be able to communicate, whether it's hand signals, making eye contact. So that was just making sure we're on the right call, and then playing within. We didn't just completely bust some of the times. It was just like we're a step or two away, and that's some of the reason why our eyes are in the right spot, or reacting a little quicker. Again, schematically, they were challenging us on a couple of things. Well, we gotta be better there. So communication, where our eyes are, sometimes overdropping, not just underdropping, overdropping. Couple reps, reacting too quickly to underneath routes versus staying deeper and rallying to go tackle. That showed up a couple times.
Coach, you mentioned the confidence in this team after our big win. How do you manage that moving forward, especially early on in the season, especially with overconfidence and things like that, especially with a young team, like I said, after a big win?
I think it's similar, like this overconfidence. Well, you want to build some confidence, and they should gain some confidence to being overcome, responding, making a play when we need it, those kind of things. And so you gain confidence from doing it out there. And then at the same point, almost like what I started with, is a reminder, but there's still plenty to clean up. We don't got this thing completely solved, that type of thing, and pointing out where areas where we need to improve and grow individually, whatever, position group, side of the ball, all of that. That's the role of the coach. So yeah, we want to be coaching confidence. At the same time, we want to be in a constant improvement, reminding, pointing out where we got to improve.
Jonathan, how much are you missing Nikai Martinez now? Is he getting closer? And is Armarian Smith playing as well as anybody you have on the back end?
Yeah, Omarian's playing well, made a couple of huge plays, and 2-point breakup, fumble recovery, flying to the ball. We're definitely anxious to get Nikai back. I think he's getting really close, potentially this. We'll see how at the end of the weekend, but he's closer than he's ever been. And nice to get some of that depth back, with Malik taking a series of 2, he was dealing with something during the game. Toughness, he gutted that one out pretty good. It will be nice to have Nikai back for some depth there.
Would you like to have him in a game before he has to go out and play USC?
Conversated about it. We'll kind of continue the conversation how it looks this week. But when he's available and cleared to play, you're gonna see him out there.
Jonathan, you named Alex Van Sumeren as the defense player of the game. Box score only says like 1 tackle, 2 tackles, so obviously he's doing things that don't show up on the box score. What was he showing on tape to get him that award?
Well, we played pretty well against the run. He's in his spot where he's supposed to. He was squeezing that pocket. I go back to this quarterback getting the ball out pretty well. Just someone you counted on throughout that was doing his role to help we play team defense. Those awards, we don't stare at the stats. We conversate as a staff on Sundays who contributed in a great way to be kind of most valuable on that side or that, and he was that for the defense.
Jonathan, we saw Jaden Savory out there. You mentioned he makes the big play, but I believe, if PFF is right, only 2 snaps for him, and that's something we've seen you guys do going back to last year with like the running backs. They would come in and get like 1 carry, maybe 2, and that was it. Just the tiniest little tastes of things. I'm just wondering how you guys as a staff, what's the philosophy with that, where it's like you're getting them in the action, but just for a second, and then moving forward with them? What's that?
I know specifically to offense, and so Jaden would fall under this. We've got a call sheet, a bunch of plays on there, and some of those are specific to a group. And so Jaden was starting on multiple groups on the call sheet. Those plays just didn't get called. And so it wasn't like, hey, play this guy a couple of snaps and then, turn him down. It just turned into how many of the particular plays that were for him to be on the field got called. Was pleased, obviously, he made a huge catch. That's a big time for his first college rep. And we're hoping you see more and more of him.
Firstly, we don't ask much or talk about the punter, but your punter can be a game changer, can't he?
Yeah, I mean, huge weapon. I mean, it does change the game. You flip the field like that, again, go back-to-back days, down to the 1, inside the 20. I even look at the big one, right? It's 4th and yard and a half. We don't do it because we got such a weapon. He flips the field all the way down to the 12. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
I just asked you a while back about not leading the team out of the tunnel, and I noticed you did the other night. Was there a change of philosophy on that? I'm just curious.
Oh, I just kind of wanted to feel a little bit the atmosphere leading into it. I mean, there's such a buzz pregame, and so getting a taste of that. We definitely got our captains out front. I mean, if you want to get into the details of it, I'm on the side because I don't want to get trucked as the guys are taking the field. But it was fun to be out in front a little bit.
Will you continue to do that?
It'd kind of be a game time decision, to be honest with you. We'll see how we're feeling.
Jonathan, I was wondering, is that the best game you've seen Aiden play in college? And looking back at the film, where are the areas you think he could improve?
Yeah, I do think for a complete game, more than 4 quarters, he played, competed, he ran, accuracy with the ball, even the small things, some of the trajectory he had on some deep balls and keeping the post safety out of the play, shown growth. Was pleased with a couple reps where he checks the ball down underneath Brandon Tullis on a 3rd and 7. That's an area to continue to growth. I thought there was a couple of other reps that we could have gotten to that sooner or gotten to it. So you want to keep that. Consistency in the launch point. Again, he's such a creator, athlete, all that. Had good reps, launch point accurate, timing's accurate. There's still some other snaps we could see more improvement from on other plays.
Jonathan, I want to ask you about Alante Brown, a guy that, you've brought in a lot of receivers, sort of that role has been diminished. When did you know you seemed right away he was going to be your return guy, and what is your relationship with him been, and what has the process been with him and sort of him deciding to stick around and do this and finish his career here and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah. Told the team the other day, especially as player of the week, for sure, he had 2 big-time returns. But then what he's doing on other facets of special teams with the fact that his load has lightened on offense right now after 2 weeks. Not that we're down on him in any way. I feel confident to put him in offensively. And I just think it shows the maturity, the leadership he has, is that he'll do whatever his role, whatever he's asked to do at the high level. And so buying in completely on special teams. He's ready to go offensively. His number gets called. He's a great example for the locker room for being all about the team. The star of the team is the team, and Alante is all about that.
I'm curious what you're seeing at left tackle with, I know Stanton and Moore both were in that mix throughout the game into the 4th quarter. What are you seeing there, and what are the sorts of paths forward for those 2 guys in what seems to be a position battle?
Still continue. You'll see it again this weekend, a rotation O-line at tackle, left and right. The guard piece, Luka got himself a taste and got in there. Continue to push that envelope. I do like it in ways that it creates continued competition. You need depth in this conference slate that we're headed towards, this season and things. Both can be good left tackles, getting specific to that. Stanton and Connor's attributes on both sides of it. I think both those guys would tell you they can play better. A couple pass sets, not to where we want it. Hands, both of them got the holding call in the run game. So we got to continue to grow out of both those guys. But we do like the feeling that you got some depth at O-line.
The competition side of things with the O-line, what do you have to see to settle on a five-man unit?
Yeah, just a separation. Like, this guy's by far better to play, call it 70, 75 snaps of offense for the entire time. And so we'll see if that plays out. If it doesn't, we're going to continue to push it. I think there's healthy competition. They know Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday continue to really matter. The more they want to play, they got to show up during the week. And I think that's, as a program, that's how we're going to get better during the week.
The confidence of your quarterback, it wasn't flawless, but he has stood up here and said, I can be the best quarterback in the country. He has said this team can be a championship team. I don't want to call it cockiness, but how does that confidence level rub off on his teammates, if at all, if you believe?
Yeah, we want not just him. We want these guys, confident, but understanding how competitive this whole thing is, and so we want them going into games and playing in games with confidence, with a mindset that we can get things done. We can play at a really high level. I always fall back to I'd love it just to be shown on tape more than anything, and that's what these guys are continuing to work to do.
Jonathan, kicker psychology can play into that position maybe more than others at times. What did you know about sort of Martin's demeanor and approach in that sense? What did you learn after? I'm just wondering, like, in a tight game like that, was there any thought of, let's just go with Eckley here, let's not put that guy in for a 50-yarder, tight game, first career kick, or did you say, he's a guy that can handle that, no problem, throw him in, that type of stuff?
Yeah, I go to more you learned post after the game, like his demeanor, his mentality. He went out there confident. He banged that one, the first one, 50-yarder. I mean, and he had some distance. Could have been a little bit further. It was awesome to see. I'm not going to sit here and say I knew things before that took place. You go learn about it during the game. I do think his approach. He's been working. He's been dealing with stuff for about a month. I don't think we even let him attempt a 50-yarder in practice leading into this sucker because Wednesday he was going to get some light work, a little bit shorter. And when the game called, his number was called. We did feel like this week, longer field goal, we were going to give him a crack at it and not continue to wear out Eckley because he's doing the kickoff side of things too. And sometimes you need to see it in the game, and Martin was totally ready.
Jonathan, Eckley was really good last year, but when did you know he could be as good as any punter in the country? And how does he execute those long wedge shots? What is he doing?
I got to ask him deeply on it. I don't know if he's got a formula or something for the ball to land where he is. I do think, he's playing with some confidence. He knows he's got talent, and he works at the thing. He's got a belief in the scheme in front of him. Those snaps are coming. The protection's there. I think he knows that him playing a really high level can change the game, right? To flip in the field. So he knows his role is so vitally important to help contribute to success and wins, and he's owning that right now.
I'm wondering, Jonathan, when you were very highly complimentary of Bill O'Brien, and I'm wondering from your staff, what did Brian do differently between the first half, second half this week? But also, when you guys go back and rewatch these games against an opponent like that, how much do you maybe pick up and learn from another coach in your own games from your opponent?
Yeah, we learned a ton. Call me a football junkie, but I just got respect. You turn on tape, and then you kind of watch it, and you see a previous play, and then some adjustment getting made. You see a formation shown, and sometimes a play is run in a formation really for the next play that he's going to call. You got a lot of that out of Boston College. Coach O'Brien, that offensive staff. I look at some of the challenges he presented defensively for us, formationally in the boundary. The ball's coming out of the quarterback's hands quickly. So I just got a bunch of respect for that kind of thing. And yeah, we're always trying to learn. And so yeah, we're studying that tape. I made a cut up a Boston College offense that I gave to Brian because of some of the things that created difficulties for us. I think you're always trying to learn and grow. And I'm not unique that way. In college football, you see it all the time of people copying other people's stuff, and we'd love to do anything we think is good and new is going to help us. We're going to try to use it. Well, the confidence for sure. We wanted to get some action pass going. Got it early first drive. That play to Nick Amari. That was a huge third down. Back to the trajectory of Aiden's ball. We throw the go route on 3rd and 6. Amari makes a play on that. He's running stride for stride. It's kind of a throw behind Aiden's maturity of the trajectory of the ball was huge, so got us going there. I think that added to our confidence. Still wanted to mix some of the run, have the balance of that going. The third down thing was a little bit better in the second half. Some of that was Aiden's legs, right? I mean, extending the thing on a couple of third downs. So I don't know if I answered the question, but yeah.
Yeah, you've been talking about the improved depth through the preseason, early season. Chance Rucker got on the field. Could you talk about the impact he had, how he graded out, not specifically the numbers, I know that's probably confidential, but being able to go to the bench and it looked like he pitched some pretty good relief for you, and how's he coming along?
Yeah, and we want to have depth because whatever reasons it is, physically you're going to have an injury or two take place. Maybe we're not playing at the highest level. I do think there's benefits sometimes for guys. We'll call him a starter. He's out there for a few series, comes over to the sideline, someone else goes in. He gets a perspective from the sideline of seeing it and not learning always in game action. I think that took place at the corner spot because we can play better at corner than we did, tighter coverage, eyes in the right spots. And I say all that to, again, credit to Boston College. They got some good players. I mean, 11's a good player. That wideout 4, he's big and he can run. The tight end, too, was nifty and catching radius with that guy. So back to with Chance, we've got multiple corners we feel confident to put in the game, and we're not going to hesitate to put them in.